Welcome to today's tutorial, where we'll be creating an invoice template with CraftMyPDF, while also introducing you to some basics. We'll cover the essentials of our template editor, the use of a data-bound section for repeating line item information, and how to use expressions to display dynamic data. But first, let me give you a quick overview of what CraftMyPDF is. CraftMyPDF is a web-based, drag-and-drop PDF template editor, designed to help you generate pixel-perfect PDF documents from reusable templates. With a rich array of components, powerful expressions, formatting, and data binding, you'll have everything you need to create beautiful PDFs. With our PDF generation API, generating documents is as easy as making a simple REST API call. We've also seamlessly integrated with popular no-code platforms like Zapier, Make, and Bubble, enabling you to automate PDF document creation within your workflows. Now that you know what you're getting into, let's start creating. Let's get straight to it and create a brand new, blank template. To begin, make your way over to the Manage Templates page. Here, you'll want to click on New PDF Template and choose Blank Template as your starting point. Following this, click on Edit to open up the template editor. Now, let's familiarize ourselves with the template editor, which is made up of 5 primary tabs. Our first stop is the Designer tab. This is the space where you'll design your template. After that, we have the Preview tab, where you can generate or preview your PDF. Transitioning to the next part, we have the Data tab. This is where you'll input your sample JSON data, a critical step in designing your template. The Settings tab lets you modify the settings of your template. You can configure the template background, watermark, and other settings of your template. And last but not least, the Version tab gives you a snapshot of your template's history. Taking a closer look at the Designer tab. On the left is the Tool panel. Each component in the toolbar is represented by an icon. You can drag and drop the components from the Tool panel onto the Editor area in the middle. In the middle is the Editor area, where you can create components by dragging and dropping them from the toolbar, positioning components, and resizing the section's height. You'll find different types of sections that make up a template. Let's talk about these. The header section, as you might guess, appears at the top of each page, and the footer section can be found at the bottom. Each template carries one header and one footer. If you wish to make the footer or header invisible, simply adjust their height to 0 or reset the height. As for the normal section, it's the body of the report. You can have more than one normal section, and it's worth mentioning that you have the option to enable data binding for a normal section, allowing you to repeat the section. Layers are an important feature in CraftMyPDF that enables users to work on individual components of a template without affecting other parts. They're like sheets stacked on top of each other, where you can create different elements on each sheet. On the right is the Property panel. The Property panel allows us to customize various attributes of a selected object. When you select a component, the Property panel will display all the properties associated with that component, including its size, color, text, and location. You can directly edit these properties from the Property panel. Now that we've covered the fundamentals, let's switch our focus towards designing an invoice. Here's the sequence of actions you need to follow. Begin by refreshing the page to clear out the previous changes we made. Afterward, paste or create a JSON data in the Data tab. This JSON will consist of invoice information and line items in the field Items. Moving on, select the Designer tab. Start by removing the existing label components in the header. Then, add a company logo and a few label components to display the invoice details, such as the invoice number and the company name. The process involves selecting the label components, locating the text property in the Property panel, and clicking the Insert Data Expression button. Once the expression builder appears, choose a field and click Use this. This process is used to build an expression for dynamic information. We will explore expressions further in the latter part of this video, so stick around for that. Next, we need to create labels for the titles of line items. First, we select the normal section and then add a label component. To speed up the process, we can duplicate the newly created label component and enter the titles, such as total, unit price, quantity, and description. The subsequent step involves repeating the line items by enabling data binding. Click on the Insert Below button to create a new section below the title section. Then, select the new section, enable data binding for the section, and choose a JSON array as the data source. Similarly to the previous step, click on the Insert Data Expression button, and then select the Items field. Once you click Use this, it will return an expression. Next, we will create label components to display line item details, such as the description, quantity, unit price, and total. First, select the label component, and then click on Insert Data Expression for the text property. This will open the expression builder. In the expression builder, select the fields within the array items, and then click on Use this. Repeat this process for all the label components. One last point, remember to set page break inside to avoid for the normal section. This is to avoid the rows being divided across pages. Now, let's add a new normal section below and use an expression to display the total amount. Moving on to the footer, it couldn't be simpler. All you have to do is leaving only the page number and total page in the footer. Once you're satisfied with the design, preview the template. Go to the Preview tab. There are two buttons available. Quick Preview renders the template in HTML, while Generate PDF creates actual PDFs. The Quick Preview button is useful for debugging expressions or previewing data and layout, but it doesn't include page breaks. To generate PDFs with proper page breaks, use the Generate PDF button. Finally, it's time to put your personal touch on your invoice. You can customize the invoice template according to your requirements. Get creative by adding stripes to line items, changing the background color, adjusting label alignment, or even inserting extra labels to give your invoice a more polished and professional appearance. Congratulations! Now that we've created an invoice template, the next step is to generate PDFs with platforms like Zapier, Make, Bubble, Coda, or REST API. Please visit our support page for tutorials on how to do this. In a nutshell, the workflow entails prepping your JSON data, designing the template, previewing it, and finally setting up integrations. Always remember, our support page is only a click away whenever you need a helping hand. Moving on, let's delve into expressions. An expression in JavaScript is a syntax enclosed in double curly braces, and it evaluates to a single value. You can use these expressions in the property panel for components that support expressions, and this will allow you to display dynamic information. To illustrate, here's a simple expression that performs the addition of two numeric values. When we want to use JSON data in an expression, we call upon the special variable known as data. The following expression, for instance, displays the invoice_number field in the template. If data binding is enabled for a normal section, the section will be automatically repeated once per record in the specified data source. In the data-bound normal section, we can use the row variable to access row information. In the header or footer, you can use sys.pagenumber and sys.totalpages to display the page number and total number of pages respectively. In addition to the standard JavaScript functions, we've also integrated a set of built-in functions for formatting numbers and strings. You can discover more about them in the Designer's Expressions tab or on the support page. Thank you for joining us in this tutorial. If you have any questions or need further assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to our support team. Until next time, happy crafting!